Twice here on the DNVR Broncos Podcast, and then also they've got that going. The audio was off in here. Oh no!
That's what happened when gives me everything left.
Yeah.
The
this
audio
was my
was
fault.
off, and
this
it was
my
Henry's
fault.
fault, according to
It was my fault.
here. I love it. Hank, thanks for falling on the sword there.
I wouldn't even know how to turn the audio off.
You know, you started this when your hair was gone 2 days ago, and I don't know if we're ever gonna if we're ever gonna mend this relationship.
He started
between
it.
you two.
He started it years ago.
Wow.
Audio is horrible now.
Welcome into the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Oh, the audio is horrible now.
Oh, now there's a thumbs up.
Oh,
We're good
thumbs
now.
up. Okay. We are fixed. Man, I mean, Madness started with March Madness. Madness also started on this show. We're ready to rock and roll with Super Bowl 50 champ Todd Davis, Henry Chisholm, and you here behind the camera. And, of course, yours truly, Zach Stevens, rocking and rolling with you today. Henry is in the chat right now, just starting drama even more. You hear is blocking him right now.
Dang, that was
oh,
quick.
man.
I just knew he needed like some sort of outlet there, so I just wanted to throw up a little target.
The vibes
you could just get that blocked out.
The vibes are so
shoot it a
bad
little
right
better.
now. They're good.
You should have went harder, knowing you were going to get blocked. You should've
Okay,
went
cool.
hard
I'll
with
log in
your
with my
one-
other account then.
I'll ban you and then I'll ban you later.
With your
Okay,
one, you
perfect.
know.
Like if you're going to get a personal foul, you might as well get your money's worth.
Exactly.
If you know you're going to
Yes.
get penalized, get your money's
Exactly.
worth.
Yeah, you might as well go for it all. Then, you know?
That reminds me. This is a question that has been on my mind for like almost like a year now. What would you think of like the Bounty Gate thing?
What would I think of it?
Yeah, like I mean that's as like a defensive player, like that's is it first of all, is it surprising to hear that that was like a thing?
Not at all.
Exactly. Okay.
Not at all. And I wish I would have played in it.
A little
some
extra
money?
money.
Make some money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to get hurt, but for sure you want to. It's fun. It'd be fun to be getting paid for every kind of crazy hit that you do. You would look for it more.
Well, and as much as that sounds like when people talk about it or like write about it, they're always like, "Oh, what a terrible, horrible culture! Like you just can't be doing that stuff." But really, it seems like that would be kind of like a great culture, like in terms of like everybody buying in, bonding, like having an identity. Like it seems like it'd be good for like team building purposes as well.
And were they hurting people? No, right? They were just paying.
Nah, it would. You get money
Weren't
if you
they-
knocked him out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's not like they're not like trying to like, you know what I'm saying, break
like
somebody's
foreign
ankle.
ACL,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
get a
yeah.
certain
You
amount.
you don't get more money if they're out after that game. It's just for that game,
Yeah. So it's just football.
plus a little bit
Just
more.
contracts a little different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're balling and people just happen to get knocked out and the team pays you at the end of your contract, then everything is good.
It's true.
But if we have an inside little pot, then it's bad.
Who?
So Bounty Gate's a good thing.
I don't know if I'm
How different 10 years? Because that was like about 10 years ago.
Yep.
And now, if you just hit a quarterback too hard, you're getting flagged, you're getting fined, you're getting thrown out of a game, you're getting suspended. Crazy that was just 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, because that would have been like 2 years before you got there. Was that 2011? And he was suspended 2012.
I believe so.
So you just missed out.
Dang, I missed the good times.
Wow. That I mean, I wonder if there were other teams that were still doing that stuff. But obviously, the Saints couldn't at that point because the NFL's watching. It's like that was the one place where they probably weren't doing it. I'm sure there were others.
I mean, how many times has a head coach been suspended for an entire season?
Yeah.
Off the top of my
can't
head,
think of any,
I don't
yeah.
know. That's one way to send a message is we're going to suspend you. You're going to miss out on $10-15 million of pay.
Yeah.
That'll probably make other head coaches a little
message.
wary of continuing to do anything if they were doing it.
Imagine, I mean, I'm thinking about that no-fly zone defense with bounties on people. That would have been insane. Like you get like TJ and Akeem, like
take people's head off.
Yeah.
Do you think Akeem would have played any different?
No,
I think that was just
but
Akeem.
it would have been cool. I don't know. That is crazy to think about.
It is. Is it crazy to think about Bo Nix being the Denver Broncos pick at number 12?
No, I mean it's what's gonna happen. It just sucks to think about.
Wow. Okay, you are just hitting that hard right off the bat.
Yeah.
Do you think it's crazy, Todd?
No warm up, no foreplay, just going forward.
Hard.
No, it's not crazy. I think it's a viable option. So, and the way the cards are stacking or shaking out right now, it seems like it may be one of our best options. Because this will be the first draft class where 12 quarterbacks go in the first 13 picks. So we'll see how it goes.
Man, that's what it really feels like right now. And I agree with you guys. It's not crazy to think that is going to be the case. And I think it'd be fine. I don't think anyone would be really head over heels for it right away. But there would be some people that feel the way Henry does and think it would be tough. But why we're talking about that is we've identified kind of the top mock draft people. Mel Kiper, Jordan Reed, Matt Miller, Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, and Dane Brugler. And right now, Bo Nix is the most popular pick to the Broncos. 3 of these guys, what I named, 7 names there. 3 of these guys have Bo Nix being the Broncos pick at 12. Jordan Reed has Jared Verse being the Broncos pick. Daniel Jeremiah has Brock Bowers being the Broncos pick. And Dane Brugler has the Broncos going with Brock Bowers. So that's the second most popular pick. And then Bucky Brooks, his mock draft was posted a couple of weeks ago. He has J.J. McCarthy. My guess is his next updated one. J.J. McCarthy's probably going to be going before the Broncos, but right now, do you guys remember who the most popular pick was when we did this about a month ago for the Broncos? It was very different.
Laiatu Latu?
Nope. We are talking about him today.
You talking about for the Broncos?
Yep.
Wasn't it outside linebacker?
Nope. Right side of the ball, though.
Oh, the
Terrion Arnold?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Terrion Arnold was a consensus. Now, only one defensive player projected to the Broncos. Everyone's kind of saying, oh, Broncos did nothing in free agency, so now it's about the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's the right route. It's just so interesting because no matter what, there's going to be somebody that falls. Every draft, there's always 1 or 2 guys where, you know, they end up going way later than everybody thought. And is it a quarterback? Is it J.J. McCarthy? Is it Rome Odunze? Like, is there other options for us there that maybe like as projections look won't be there? Like, what will we do then? You know what I'm saying? There's so many options because you never really know how draft day is going to fall. But I'm not upset at Bo Nix because we do need a quarterback.
Yep, do need a quarterback, desperate. And I also think that Bo Nix profiles as a Sean Payton type of quarterback. Now, the tough thing about Bo Nix is the system that he was in really, really favors quarterbacks. So you have to project, okay, the system he was in really helps quarterbacks because, what is it, like 30% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage or within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to make more complicated throws in the NFL, but his NCAA best 77.8 completion percentage last year was the best ever. That it's probably not going to be the case in the NFL. It's not just going to translate right over, but it also, you hold it against him, but it doesn't mean that he can't be really good in the NFL. There's a lot of projections, despite him starting, 60 games in college?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Why do you hate him, Henry? Let's just get that out of the way.
Well, because he makes one read and then throws it 3 yards, and he does it sidearm so people get excited. And there are some throws in there that you look at and you're like he's a baller for sure. Like he's a guy who, like, the team runs through him. Like he's not. People call him a game manager. I don't think he's a game manager. I think, like, you get him, you're playing Bo Nix ball, which is he's going to scramble around and find somebody like 5 yards away. But again, like, it's a spread offense. There's, like you said, a lot of screens, a lot of RPOs, a lot of one read stuff, and there just isn't anything that makes you think,
wow.
Like, I mean, the thing, I've just done this over and over and over again, like, because we talk about Bo Nix a lot, and so now I've just gotten to the point where it's like you can't put him under center. Like, you're not all of a sudden like Sean Payton wants to be able to load up with extra offensive linemen and do those sorts of things. Like, that's not something Bo Nix has ever done before. And so
was Drew Brees under center a lot?
Enough. Yeah. I mean, there was quite a bit, especially compared to like the rest of the NFL. But I mean, that's you're getting somebody who does one thing well, and that one thing is spread everything out and make a quick read, run an RPO or something. And I mean, there's a couple other decent throws in there, but it's all stuff that's kind of off script. But he just doesn't quite do it for me.
Todd, can you convince Henry otherwise?
About Bo Nix? Well, I think, the NFL is always evolving. So if he can go under center as much as Patrick Mahomes, I think, it can make sense. Patrick Mahomes is under center, 80% in the game. That's just not the way he plays the position. But he does have to get there to be an NFL quarterback. So I don't think it's anything he can't do. And I don't know, man. I'm trying to convince you, but I'm trying to,
well, and it's
trying to make it make sense to myself. Yeah. Trying to make it make sense.
It's not like there are a lot of college quarterbacks who have played a lot under center. It's just that all those like passing concepts, they're not built to be run out of center. Like, because when you're under center, you're just running different kinds of plays. And so
not necessarily.
No?
Not necessarily.
Because all you've
done is taking the tight end and moved them out.
Yeah.
You can run the same routes.
Yeah.
You may just have a different I think your approach to seeing the play is a little different, because you got to make sure you get into your drop first, as opposed to just, setting up and you're in your 3-step drop. But as far as like the plays that are being run, I think they're very similar. You may get more boot and play actions that you could do from under center, but as far as the concepts, I think you can match pretty much any concept you could do out of 4 open that you could out of the tight end and the core.
No, I feel better. Draft Bo Nix.
Okay, so Henry, is Bo Nix your 5th, 6th quarterback? Like, he's one of those guys, right?
I mean, he would be 6th. You couldn't justify, like, I guess Rattler's probably up next after him, and you still probably go Nix.
And so he's that far. So then a question, would you agree he would be your 6th, right?
Yeah.
Behind J.J. McCarthy, behind Penix, behind the other 3?
Yep.
So then a question for you guys. Would you want to trade number 12 and next year's first-round pick in order to move up to get one of the other 5 quarterbacks? Or would you rather the Broncos stay at 12 and get Bo Nix? I'll let you think about that when I tell you about our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery, the official craft beer of DNVR. Breck brews are already flowing down at the DNVR bar. It is 11:16 right now.
They're going crazy.
They were flowing at 10:30 here. I love it. That's what March Madness is about. I hope everyone is able to at least take the day off or get off early today and crack open a Breck beer. We got Broncos Country Pale Ale on our set right now, and you can support the Nuggets, Avs, pretty much any Colorado team through Breck Brewery, because they are all about Colorado. And if you want to get your hands on some Breck beer, go to breckbrew.com. Their beer locator at the top left of the screen will take you to show you where you can get any Breck brew. It's the official craft beer of DNVR. Grab some this weekend.
And shout out to Circa Sports. We love Circa. We definitely enjoy our time in Vegas, and it's even made better by going to Circa. I think going to Vegas alone is a great experience, but when you experience it in Circa, at the sports book, drunk in the sun and betting on games, I think you're ultimately winning. And right now, you can get 20% off your stay if you use code DNVR20. You want to go check them out. They got Stadium Swim. They got the largest sports book in the world. You can't beat them. You can download the app right now, circasports.com, to place your bets. Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourage you to gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
All right, we got a lot of people tuning in right now. Not many thumbs up, though. Hit us with the thumbs up. Really helps us. We appreciate it. And, Henry, you have better dropped us a thumbs up right now, because you're in the chat again. Yahir was nice enough to unblock you.
I'm just dropping knowledge in the chat. Like, this is our job, is to share things.
Yahir, you going to allow that?
I don't care anymore. Let him do what he wants.
Good call you here.
So, what would you guys rather do? Trade up, use future draft capital, future first-round pick, in order to get closer to landing a top quarterback, or would you rather be at 12 and take Bo Nix?
I think I'd be at 12 and take Bo Nix because I think future draft capital would be extreme to get like top 3 quarterback.
Yep.
And then I don't want to. I know it's hard to say, but I really wouldn't want to give up anything to go from Bo Nix to JJ. I feel like they're kind of similar players, and at least Bo Nix has shown that he could process one read quickly. So I think I'd rather stick with him right there than, try to jump up to get JJ and spend another first rounder.
Henry,
Yeah.
do you agree?
First of all, I think Penix is probably there at that point, so I just take Penix over Nix. But I know it's not an option. I know it's not the question, but realistically, that's what I would do. In terms of the question, I'd rather trade up for Jayden Daniels.
So 3 first and Pat Surtain.
Okay, not 3 first and Pat Surtain.
In order to get Jayden Daniels, that's what you're doing.
I mean, maybe. We just got to see how it all plays out. Like, if Drake Maye goes off the board second, and then who knows if they're taking quarterback through. Like, things could fall that way. But that's the only one where I could see. Because, like, I probably wouldn't be willing to trade. Like, if it was like a first and like a fifth, I would go get J.J. McCarthy, but that's not going to do anything. Drake Maye, I guess I'd rather have him than Bo Nix, but like he's just another one where I want Jayden Daniels or Caleb Williams. You're not getting Caleb Williams. Penix is probably going to be there. Just wait for Penix.
He's really bad at following directions.
Yeah,
I know.
He did whatever
awful.
he wanted with that.
Yeah, it's true.
And Todd, I agree with you. I would rather just sit there, take Bo Nix because of what the Broncos are doing this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of tearing things down. So what I would be so afraid of is trading future draft capital when you're in a semi-rebuild sort of year, because I just saw what the Carolina Panthers did, what just happened with them, and that's horrifying.
Yep.
Let's say you do end up with a top 5 pick next year, but you gave it away, and then the quarterback that you got, a J.J. McCarthy, just looks okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, now you're in such a bad position. So that is too scary for me, unless you are able to go and get, let's say, a Jayden Daniels, and you're only giving up 1 first-round pick. I just don't think that is going to be the case. So I'm okay with taking Bo Nix at 12. Not over the moon about it, but I think he can fit a Sean Payton system. Todd, I feel like you kind of agree with me, and Henry, you hate it.
You got to get a quarterback.
Okay.
Like, you just have to take a quarterback there, and it's probably what's going to happen. And it's not like a terrible decision. If Penix is there and they take Nix, I'm going to be disappointed.
And that's what I think Todd would be disappointed in that too if Penix is there. And that's what the draft people are saying, is that that's what would happen, because in all of these scenarios, Penix is there. But Henry, you mentioned Jayden Daniels.
Yes.
Let's get into an inside scoop where you break down Jayden Daniels' tape for us, because he might be, once you let go of the Caleb Williams dream, he's my favorite quarterback in the draft by far, and it's not even close. If I was the Commanders, he's my pick at 2. What if there is a scenario where he doesn't get drafted at 2 or 3 and he's there at 4? Is it worth trading 2 first-round picks, 3 first-round picks? What is it worth trading in order to get Jayden Daniels? We're going to have Henry break down this film here on the Inside Scoop, where you're pretty much showing every single play that he's ever had. Is that my understanding?
I think there's
so.
8 plays.
8 plays.
Yeah.
Okay. 8
There's
plays.
no way. How many clips you hear? You guys had 60 clips?
60 clips,
We
yeah.
normally do
Maybe
this.
it's 10.
We always do like the inside scoop towards the end of the show, but there's so many clips that we
many
had to
clips.
move it up.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a good time. It's just like with the Jayden Daniels run. It's like, he cuts left, cuts right, goes straight, little spin, deducts out this way.
I like
Just
it.
a lot of screenshots in there.
I like
So
it.
the iPad's not working right now. So let's just talk about Jayden Daniels right now, because Jayden Daniels, to me, and I won't tell me if I'm wrong, but when I see Jayden Daniels, I see an incredible athlete, the best athlete at the quarterback position since Lamar Jackson. To me, Lamar, in terms of a runner, there's no one like him. Not even wide receivers, running backs, obviously quarterbacks. With his quick twitch, and his agility is unmatched.
Yep.
No one is like him. But when I watch Jayden Daniels, his top-end speed is insane. In the SEC, he is running past defensive backs when they're going full speed as well. So when he hits the gas, he is just off. Now, he's not the Lamar Jackson where he can just like make people miss left and right, but his top-end speed is insane.
He's not far off from Lamar. Like, he's not Lamar, but if anybody was Lamar, it would be him. And on top of that, like much, much, much better passer than Lamar was coming out of college. And that's what you get so excited about is that he's probably the second best passer in this draft. Or Penix. Like, it might be Caleb and then Penix and then him, but I mean, he's right there. But because he's such a threat with his legs, that's what people think of. I pulled some stats I was going to use during all this, but we might as well knock them out now. But like, guess what the Broncos' longest rushing touchdown was last year?
Oh, gosh.
Guess what it was?
9 yards.
Yeah, I'd say 11.
5. Julio McLaughlin had a 5-yard touchdown run against the Commanders. That's their longest touchdown run all season.
Oh,
Jayden Daniels had a 50-yard touchdown run and an 85-yard touchdown run against the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
In one game, he did both those things. And he also threw for 372 yards, ran for 234, 5 total touchdowns. Like, that's a solid Florida team. Like, not like national championship contender, but really good team. And so if you're the Broncos and you just don't really have much of a spark on offense, like the closest thing to a spark you have is Courtland Sutton, and you don't necessarily think of like a big guy jump ball receiver as a spark player, but just because he gets you so many like touchdowns, big plays, you throw Jayden Daniels in there. Jayden Daniels is going to, I mean, he had 95 rushing yards per game last year, which is an insane number.
That's too much.
And remember, in college, sacks count as rush attempts.
Right.
So those 95 rushing yards a game, there might have been 15 yards of sacks per game too. So that's actually 110. Despite having the sacks factored in, 8.5 yards per carry, number 1 in all of college football. Ahead of any running back, quarterback, all that. So like, you're getting that on top of the guy. I mean, there's a reason he won the Heisman. Number 1 rushing yards per attempt, number 1 in passer rating. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
And he's doing it in the SEC, where the defenses are better than pretty much anywhere else in the country. And what was LSU's record? They were always kind of flirting with the top 25.
9-3 maybe?
9. Oh, dang, that's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Because their defense was awful, trash. I mean, when you think about Patrick Mahomes in college, and now because of Michael Penix, we know of like he and Michael Penix are the only guys to throw for 4,500 yards in back-to-back seasons.
Yep.
But Mahomes had like such a pedestrian record at Texas Tech because they were losing like 50-49.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his fault why they were losing. That's the exact same thing with Jayden Daniels. LSU's defense was just awful, and they still went 9-3.
Yep.
Damn.
No, it's just crazy to watch because he's another guy where it's just like he is the offense, and there's some of that like Bo Nix stuff, and the reason he might not be a great Sean Payton fit is again it's like spread offense, and so everything is going to change at the next level. Like some of those things that Sean Payton does, like I'm not sure how many snaps Jayden Daniels has ever taken under center. So the idea that you're going to be like rolling Michael Burton out there, your all-pro fullback, like there are some pieces that you need to fix to or kind of meld together. But I kind of think that's true of most college quarterbacks at this point. And you know, to me, to be a successful quarterback, the first 3 years are just about not screwing up. Like, you just need to find a way to do something productive so that you don't get benched. Like, you just can't go out there and be Zach Wilson or go be, I mean, I guess Kenny Pickett's kind of on that fringe. Like, Mac Jones these past 2 years just wasn't enough. And what you see is that it's a lot of the guys who can make plays with their legs. Like, guys who can extend plays and then hit somebody downfield and just do enough that you're not feeling like they're holding you back. And then you kind of build from there. Like Lamar Jackson, they put him in kind of like a college-y offense, a little bit gimmicky, and run him a bunch for the first few years. Now he's what? He's like, I think he just turned 26. So his age, no, it was last year. Last year he turned 26, and they put him into a real offense, like a more pro-style offense because they kind of decided he was ready. And Jayden Daniels, it's going to be that same thing where you're going to have to cater to him a little bit early on, but you're going to have to cater to all these guys a little bit early on. So I don't think he's necessarily like a bad fit overall. It just early on, there's going to be some pieces you need to iron out.
Being a good running quarterback, in my opinion, buys you time to grow as a passer, learn the game from a mental side as a quarterback. That just does give you an advantage. Now, you have to be able to have those tools to be able to throw accurately, to be able to have enough arm strength, to have the mental capability to grow. And because if you don't and you're just an incredible athlete, well, you're going to last 1 or 2 years, and that's it. But having the legs and the ability to run and create plays is really, really, like you're saying, Henry, helps young guys buy time in order to become a good quarterback, and that's exactly what Jayden does. Now, the biggest question is, I don't know how much responsibility he's given before a play at the line of scrimmage, but like you kind of said, not a lot of quarterbacks are given that in college, and so that's just something where you have to identify, can this quarterback learn that at the next level? And that's a really difficult thing to identify and be able to learn, and that's why these visits and meeting with them at the Combine, which the Broncos did meet with Jayden Daniels at the Combine, and getting them on the whiteboard to see what they have.
And according to the draft nerds, let's see, I can't remember if it was Zerline or the real ones, either Lance Zerline or Daniel Jeremiah. Jayden Daniels was setting his own protections. Like, that wasn't even the offensive line. It was him who was doing it. And then you look, and like, one of the pluses wherever you look is that it's the anticipation is a plus, multiple reads is a plus. Like, people, maybe it's just me, running quarterbacks I kind of put in a box where it's like, you are a running quarterback, we know what the strengths are. Like, maybe you're the big arm guy, maybe not. But like, as a passer, he is really sharp. And there's just so many different things that you can point to. I mean, only Bo Nix played more college football games than Jayden Daniels. So you throw in, like, he has the experience on top of it. Again, obviously all the numbers, he won the Heisman, but completed 72% of his passes. And people say, well, Bo Nix, he completed 77%. Jayden Daniels' average depth of target, 10.5 yards downfield compared to 6.8. That's a 50% more, like, improvement. Just on average, you're throwing the ball 50% farther downfield. So you just have all these little things that you just have to love when you watch him.
Did you guys see Chris Sims' quarterback ratings? Gets a lot of attention every year because sometimes he's spot on, sometimes he misses at times. But did you see his quarterback ratings he dropped last week, I think? You know who his number one quarterback in this draft was, including Caleb Williams?
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels. And I think Caleb Williams was number 2 on here. And last year, our guy Chris Sims had CJ Stroud as his number 1 quarterback, Bryce Young number 2, so he was spot on that. The maybe the biggest question that I have, and Todd, I want to ask you about this, is Jayden Daniels' stature. When you look at him, he is a skinny dude, and he runs a lot, and so that means he's going to take some hits. He's not going up against, even though the SEC has some big boys, he's not going up against NFL guys that hit a lot. How much of a concern is that for a quarterback?
You know, for me, I feel like as time goes on, the body frames of different players start to change for me as far as, like, my concern, I guess I could say. You look at Justin Jefferson or Hollywood Brown, or you look at Lamar Jackson, all these guys are able to have good, successful careers. And what people realize is when they do get hit, it's rare that you get a good piece of them because they're so agile.
That's a good point.
And then you just also learn as a quarterback, if they're getting close, slide. You know, 5 extra yards, 7 extra, it's not even worth it. We'd rather have you slide, live to play another down. And that's what I would really teach him, like, in his first 2 years. Maybe run, 2 design runs a game. And then you take off, you see man free, everybody's back is turned. You have the ability to take off. But if somebody turns and look like they're coming to tackle you, slide. It's not even worth it. So
how frustrating is that from a defensive perspective? You see a quarterback running at you, and you're like, oh, man, this is it. And then he slides or runs skirts out of bounds.
Yeah, or he waits for the last second, and you get a cheap piece of him, but then that's a flag on you. A penalty. It's annoying.
Yeah, and he doesn't slide. Like, he just doesn't do it. Neither did Lamar Jackson, though, and they taught him how to slide. And so I do think it's helpful just having Lamar as a comparison and say, like, this really can work. Because for a long time I watched Jayden Daniels, and first of all, he's been my favorite college football quarterback since 2019 when he started at Arizona State and I started at CU, and it was like, holy cow, this kid's insane.
He hasn't said nothing about Jayden Daniels the whole time Was he even top on his board? And when?
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels is I said over and over again.
You just said he's your favorite college quarterback since 20 what?
I've
You have not brought him up once.
I will find out. No, because
I've
multiple times I brought Madden 20. Like I drafted him in the Madden league. Like
this is
no, that's
crazy.
like Chat. You've heard me talk about this before. You know it's true.
this
You know
is
it's
crazy.
true.
Todd and I haven't heard it.
And maybe not like best quarterback, but favorite to watch.
He's like, maybe
Like,
not on
he's
this
fun.
show have I said it.
No,
but
I've said
friends.
clearly
Sit at home in
on
the
this
shower,
show.
yeah.
These guys.
Stop
are gonna
looking
have
for help. They're not gonna help
they're
you.
coming. The help is on the way.
Little Shannon Sharp.
No, that he
Quote
said the
there.
opposite. The help is on the way. That is on the way. Let's see. I forget. Now I don't even know what I was saying. Jayden Daniels was
I
there.
got you flustered.
You did get me flustered. I had a really good point to make too.
Well, an unfortunate point is you overloaded the iPad, Henry. You overloaded the iPad. It just burnt out. You crushed the iPad. So we're not going to be able to get into the inside scoop today. We will make sure to get into your favorite quarterback in decades. We'll make sure to get that.
I've only been alive for 2 of them. But yeah, I remember what it was. So yeah, having Lamar Jackson as somebody who just came through and did this and won multiple MVPs makes it so much easier just to draft Jayden Daniels because like there's just this vibe that almost feels too good to be true with him. Just like there's no way this guy can be this fast, throw the ball this well. Like he's Pro Football Focus's best deep ball passer in all of college football last year. Wow. But by their grades and also just by his quarterback rating on throws 20 yards downfield or more, you just see that and think like, oh, something's going to go wrong here. But it didn't for Lamar. And now here you are with a multiple-time MVP winner who's also succeeding in a traditional offense. It's just so easy to buy in. I think the big thing is just the measurements because Lamar came in at 6'2 and a quarter and 208 pounds. Jayden Daniels is listed 6'4", 220. That's a lie, but we just don't really know how big of a lie that is.
Did he not weigh in at the combine?
No. So you have to wait for the pro day to see. But, I mean, he just needs to be at least 6'2 and
200.
198. Like,
yeah.
I don't know that it even needs to be 200. It just can't be. You just got to be close. It can't be 195.
I'm worried about him being under 200, like
Oh, it's
6'4",
possible.
190.
Well, I'm pretty sure Arizona State. No, they listed him 175. I think his freshman year. Woo. Again, he's just like torching everybody. Like he looked incredible, but he's just done that for forever. He doesn't turn the ball over. He scores all the touchdowns. Like there's just. It's tough to find any complaints. Like he doesn't have the biggest arm, I guess. But even then, like I wish I could show you the clip. Like there's still like a little hitch to the sideline that gets broken up. But if it's NFL hash marks and that throws a few steps closer, maybe that is completed. Like maybe his arm is strong enough to get that one. So he's awesome.
So we'll dive into his tape, all the cut-ups that Henry has when we get the iPad working maybe next week at some point. But let's wrap this conversation up with what would you be willing to give up to draft Jayden Daniels? And I want your answer after I tell you about Fubo TV. March Madness is here, and to get in on all the games, make sure you've got Fubo TV. Scan the QR code on our screen and go to FuboTV.com/DNVR, where that's going to get you 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro, and then that'll allow you to catch NBA games, NHL games, Rockies, and of course NFL when it comes around. College football, they have over 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream from any device. We love Fubo TV. We know you are going to love it too. Whether you want to watch it on your TV, your iPad, your phone, whether you're at home or out and about on the road, Fubo TV will hook you up. So scan that QR code on the screen and go to FuboTV.com/DNVR to watch your favorite sports and shows. That's FuboTV.com/DNVR for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
And also head over to Foco and buy some of their awesome stuff. It's always fun to go on their website because you just never know what you're gonna see. They've made bobbleheads for the Seoul series, which is the Dodgers and Padres are playing each other in South Korea to start the MLB season. It's crazy, a baseball season already started and nobody said anything about it. But if you go to Foco, you know all about it because they've got all sorts of different Korean series bobbleheads of the players in that series. So again, like just not something that I would have thought of. But if I was a Dodgers or Padres fan, which I am absolutely not, match your hat, Todd. You could buy some bobbleheads. Yeah, yeah. Also, of course, there's all the Broncos stuff, the Rockies and the Avs and the Nuggets and I think so. Buffs are on there. I would imagine the Rams are too. I don't go on that page personally.
It's called FOCO, Henry. Of course,
they have Fort Collins. Yeah, it's based in Fort Collins. Yeah, it's probably the first one they got. They have everything. They've got like vintage T-shirts. They've got bags and shoes, and just if you know somebody who's a sports fan and you need to buy a gift, this is the place to go because they've got all sorts of stuff. That's like a chef's hat, a Broncos chef's hat, which is awesome. Go over to FOCO, and if you do, I think. There's a link in the description. But if you use the code DNVR10, you get 10% off. It's a great deal. So go do that. DNVR10, 10% off.
Speaking of the Dodgers, Henry, the most notable thing coming out about the Dodgers isn't that they've already played regular season games. You guys following the situation with Shohei Ohtani and his what's it called? Why can't I think of it?
Interpreter.
Yes, interpreter. You heard anything about it?
No, I'm not a big baseball guy.
Oh my goodness. Have you heard anything about it?
So, well, it kind of like, I heard that there was a thing, and then like somebody tweeted last night, but I was busy all day with the watch along and all that stuff, so I haven't had a chance to like go figure out what actually happened.
So his interpreter has been his best friend for like either life or like decades now, and Shohei, he's with him everywhere. Including like in the dugout during games because he's translating things from him and the coaches. Well, the Dodgers just fired his interpreter like 2 days ago because of some sketchy things and some deposits happened from Shohei Ohtani's account, his bank account, $4.5 million transfer to pay off bookies.
Illegal bookie.
Illegal bookies. And what they're saying is that Shohei has been scammed majorly by his interpreter, and that it was his interpreter was the one that was placing these bets and got in a terrible legal position, or it got in a terrible position, so Shohei paid off these bets. But obviously, the massive question there is he just his fall guy? Is Shohei Ohtani the $700 million man that the Dodgers just signed? Has he been placing $4.5 million in bets? And if so, has it been on baseball? What's it been on? So, I mean, there's no one bigger in baseball than Shohei Ohtani. And there's now this massive investigation.
Ohtani's spokesperson apparently like put out a statement that said like he paid this to like as like a gift, but then like the other guy, the interpreter, was like contradicting all that, saying like no, that's not what actually happened. And
yeah,
there's like a bunch of drama. Also, so my idea that I had after this was if I was the interpreter and somehow, I'm not sure how it works, but somehow Shohei's money flows through me, so I have my opportunity to like grab a cut. Tell me why this is a bad idea. So there's like $70 million that like flows through there. I'm me. I don't have a lot of money.
He gets paid $300,000 to $500,000 a year.
Okay, so he has more than me. But so like you got that whole flow of money. So what you do, you snag $1 million, place a bet, and if it hits, you just keep the profits. And look, now you have $1 million. The other $1 million just goes straight into the stream. It's like it never happened.
That's probably how it started, though. But and then you start losing, and then you're like, oh shoot, I got to repay this money.
Exactly. But so then the plan is you do it with $1 million, but then you lose. So what do? Next time you pull out $2 million and do it again. Because that would pay to get you get your profit.
But that's the whole.
But it pays back.
That's just how it starts.
But then you do it with $1 million. And then all of
a sudden you have to call your friend and say, "Hey, I lost $4.5 million to this bookie. Can you pay it for me?"
Yeah.
That's exactly how it starts.
But the thing is, you'd have to get so unlucky because you do it with $1 million, then $2 million, then $4 million, then $8 million,
how often,
and then 16. Well, you just do it until you hit 1.
No.
As long as you'd have to go like 0 for 7 to actually have this not work out.
It happens.
Which is likely. Like it's not.
How much do you win when you bet? Don't you lose more than you win?
Actually, generally? No. I just went through the numbers.
You're right,
I'm up.
Generally,
most people do.
Unless you're sharp like Hank,
But that's where,
as the saying goes, there's a reason that Vegas has all those shiny buildings.
Exactly.
But if they're all just 50-50 bets, and you just need to not miss 8 in a row at 50-50, and in that case, you come out ahead.
So if I ever need somebody to handle my money, I know it's not you.
No, that is a good call. I shouldn't even handle my money. But
the quote from Shohei Ohtani's interpreter about his betting, I gotta find it right here because it is just it's kind of sad. But he says, he denied betting on baseball. Ever, of course. And then he said, I'm terrible at gambling. Never won any money. Never doing it again. I mean, I dug myself a hole and I kept on getting bigger and I meant and it meant I had to get bigger to get out of it and just kept losing. It's a snowball effect. Henry, he tried what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
And he said, just got him in a worse position.
You bet the 1 million, and if you lose that, then you bet 2 to win it back. And if you bet that, then you got to bet, I guess it'd be 3 to win that back, and then it'd be 3 plus 2 plus 1, and then it'd be 6. So and these are all 50-50 bets. And so you just have to get all the way down to blowing 70 million.
In Vegas, how many times did we lose those 50-50 bets on blackjack? It's literally a 50-50 bet.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we lost way more than we won.
It's
definitely.
True.
But did we ever lose like 8 in a row?
Yeah, people were dropping off the table like crazy.
Maybe we did lose 8 in a row.
You were just
8 in a row, though. The odds are astronomical.
You were hitting it.
8 in a row on a 50-50 bet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a 0.3% chance that you could miss 8 50-50 bets in a row. 0.3%.
He said he was terrible.
3 in 1,000. I mean, you have to be. You have to be in the bottom 0.3% of all bettors for this plan to not work.
And you have to just stop. That's the other thing. You have to stop after the first time you hit.
Right.
Yes, that is the thing.
But you're
so
gonna
why would you? Yeah, you bet $1 million and then you lose it. Then you bet 2.
Exactly.
And you win.
Then you're done.
You would have to be done. But who's going to be done after you just won?
You just won.
Your
luck is on your side now.
Now I'm rocking and rolling.
But that's not the plan. If you follow the plan works because then you bet the 2, then you get because then you're down 1. You put 2 on the bet, so then you're up $1 million and you keep that $1 million. And for me, I would love just to have that $1 million.
But if the point is just to come out even, then why would you even do it in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Because you're $1 million ahead. The plan is to come out $1 million ahead.
Plans come out $1 million.
Yeah. So that's why it's a great plan. And if I knew Japanese, I would be applying to be Shohei's interpreter. Because if I could do such a better job than that last guy.
I would think he's going to take very good care of his money after this
For
one.
sure.
If he's even, who knows? Hopefully it's all on his interpreter because there could be some major drama.
If we're best friends, you better fall. I got too much money coming.
Exactly.
I'll take care of you on the back end, but you know what I'm saying?
100%. It's good to have a fall guy.
You got to.
I would imagine, I wonder if he's a trained interpreter. Because I don't think you really need to be. I think you just need to know Japanese and English.
I think no, you don't.
I don't know.
If it's his best friend.
I think leagues require I know that MLS at least requires you to be certified.
Really?
Even if it's your friend, you gotta have you can go get certified. It's not that hard. You don't gotta go to classes, but you gotta be certified. It's a legit thing. At least in the MLS.
That's a scam.
When Hank,
I don't know.
That's a scam. I should be able to say, I'm going to this interview, and this is my friend. I trust him. This is actually a crazy thing that happened. So it's like the 30s, through the 60s, when basically Americans are just wiping out Native Americans, and a lot of the time, because of language barriers, all that sort of stuff, nobody even hears from their perspective what happened. And then there was this push to be okay, newspapers, those guys, let's do interviews and just hear what they have to say. And some of them had really good interpreters, and some were just terrible. And so these chiefs come across as idiots because the New York Times or whatever hired some guy who barely understands, but then some guys just sound like geniuses because when they interpreted, they took something that may have just been kind of a boring thing and made it sound way more interesting than it actually was, just through phrasing and stuff.
Wow.
I don't know why. That reminds me of I think everybody should be certified, because you ever seen those people who get to be White House interpreters and be sign language? They be signing, but they don't know sign language, so they just be making random stuff up. You seen that?
It was a concert for sure.
Yeah.
Dancing to the music instead of interpreting.
Just fully faking it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
When Hank starts learning Japanese, we'll know what route he's trying to go.
Exactly.
Speaking of losing money, Russell Wilson did lose money on his house. He officially sold it yesterday. He bought it for $25 million 2 years ago. Guess what he sold it for?
24.
24?
I mean, I know we lost money.
Yeah,
You took
that's why I
24.
said I went
I'll take
24.
23.
23? He lost $3.5 million. Sold it
Oh,
for $21.5 million, but I don't feel really bad for him. He made over $120 million from the Broncos in those 2 years.
He's probably just happy to get rid
Also,
of it.
yeah, and he lived in it for like 2 years. So $3.5 million bucks. That's $1.75 million a year. It's
expensive.
That's expensive for rent for that house. Even. Yeah,
it is.
Like maybe I was thinking like maybe like if you factor in rent for like a crazy house like that, but no,
you can't.
he just lost money.
Okay, let's get into our March Madness, where, of course, March Madness basketball is going on right now, but we've also got our March Madness bracket, and let's dive in, and we have a winner from yesterday. Back-to-back Cinderella upsets. First time it was Bo Nix beating the number 1 seed Rome Odunze. Then yesterday, J.J. McCarthy beat Malik Neighbors. Broncos Country is desperate for a quarterback.
Who picked that? That was in the.
That was the people.
Online?
DNVR,
Online.
DNVR _Broncos on Twitter. Over 2,000 votes on each
Jiminy
poll.
Christmas.
You think they're crazy, Todd? Let's see if you think they're crazy today, because today we've got another underdog matchup that might just happen. Actually, no. This one, Drake Maye, the highest seeded quarterback, because we're not including Jayden Daniels or Caleb Williams. Drake Maye, the 3 seed, going up against Laiatu Latu, the 14 seed edge rusher from UCLA. Let's break these two guys down, and before we do, let's look at their production in college. Drake Maye, 26 starts, 8,000 passing yards, 1,200 rushing yards, 63 touchdowns to only 16 interceptions. Pretty impressive stats there. And then on the other side, you have pass rusher Laiatu Latu, who played at Washington, started his career at Washington, was medically retired, I believe, before going to UCLA. He played in 33 games, 100 tackles, 24 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, including just a beastly year last year as well. How would you guys break this matchup down?
Well, you start by saying one's a quarterback and one's not, which gives Drake Maye a significant advantage, and then you go into like who's the more talented player, and I think Drake Maye also has the advantage. Oh. So this is going to be a tough one for our guy Laiatu. Laiatu Latu, it was super productive, talented, older prospect, but again, like 13.5 sacks, 12.5 sacks, something like that. That's last year.
Really good, though.
Yeah, so I mean, he puts up numbers. He's like a true edge rusher. He's probably like a plug-and-play guy who can just show up, and he probably never is like an NFL sack leader type, but if you need 8 sacks, he can probably give you 8 sacks out of the gate, and if he winds up giving you 10 or 11 a year for the next decade, nobody's going to be surprised by that.
You know, I don't like his medical history.
No.
I don't like it one bit. You know me and my medical history.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Penix. That's why I don't like him. No, I think it's Drake Maye, man. I think he's been a lot of hype around him for a long time, and he's a quarterback. He's the number 1 need for the Broncos, and if we're talking about Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, and they won their matchups, I think Drake Maye has to win his matchup, hands down. So Drake Maye it is.
Yeah, it has to be Drake Maye, quarterback, but then also both of these guys, according to Lance Zierlein on NFL.com, and I agree with this too, are listed as boom or bust prospects. And so what happened?
Nothing. We don't need to get into that one.
Wow.
That being messy, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. These two guys, they went from enemies to now they're just laughing together.
They're buddies now.
And so if, let's say this was like, you're getting Von Miller, like he's going to be a stud or a boomer bust quarterback, then it's like, well, maybe you actually do go with the safe thing, the awesome number 2 overall pick in a draft pass rusher. But if they're both boomer bust, then of course you're just going to take the coin flip on the quarterback here. Here is the... Well, now you're texting us. You're trying to throw me off. I'm gonna finish my thought before I read this text.
I didn't think it wasn't urgent.
Here's Lance Zierlein's comp. He says that Laiatu Latu is T.J. Watt.
Oh wow.
No, okay, so maybe he does lead the NFL in sacks. I mean, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I mean, no, he's a good player. He's a good edge rusher. Again, medical history and kind of old.
I assume we didn't.
I
Throw
didn't
that
think
one
he had
on
the ceiling.
screen?
No, no. There are lines. Yeah, no, I mean, he's a good player. Drake Maye. I think
Lance Zierlein didn't throw a comp on him, but a comp that I found online, Josh Allen, in terms of like.
That's so lazy.
They're just the same person.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the runner. He's not the power runner that Josh Allen is. He isn't as big as Josh Allen. Without those two things, like that's what makes Josh Allen Josh Allen.
Maybe he's a project though of Josh Allen.
No, he is a project, and that's like the one piece that does line up. But he's like,
but you're right.
It's not. He doesn't have Josh Allen's arm. Like he doesn't have any of the special things. Also, I mean, yeah, I said this on Twitter mostly just because Ryan wanted to fight. But Josh Allen like literally led the led the league in turnovers in 2021. Did it again in 2022. Was second this year. Like that's kind of an issue that nobody really wants to talk about.
It is.
And again, like
it's because at the same time he's the only player in NFL history with back-to-back seasons with 40 touchdowns. So he's like he gives you everything. Tons of interceptions. I mean, he's this generation's Brett Favre.
Wow.
What people don't talk about with Brett Favre enough, and I don't like Brett Favre, is he has by far the most interceptions in NFL history.
Yeah. It's just also like a different era. Like interceptions were never a good thing, but it wasn't necessarily like a thing that you like freak out over. Like mostly what happened was the NFL got to the point where scoring just so high, you wind up scoring on so many possessions that ending a possession just became a bigger deal mathematically. So just a bunch of things have changed since then. People say that about John Elway too. Like, oh, he also threw a lot of interceptions. It's like, well, when you're chucking the ball 60 yards down the field and providing touch, that's a separate conversation though. The point is Josh Allen's just like a one of one. There's nobody really like him. So to compare somebody to him is just, it's wrong. But I do think it's hard to compare somebody to Drake Maye. Like to me, he's a more athletic Ben Roethlisberger, but who hasn't proven that. Damn it! Somebody in the chat.
Don't
somebody
give me that. No. You saw that. You saw other comments in the chat.
Did they say that too? No, I did see other comments in the chat. But I've been talking this way, not that way. Yeah, so more athletic Ben Roethlisberger who hasn't proven that he can like win from the pocket consistently. Like the accuracy comes and goes, like the 2-minute drill stuff, the hurry up offense. That was what Ben Roethlisberger was known for. Drake Maye hasn't proven that he can do that, but if he works out, that should be kind of what he's good at. Is just offense runs through me. Like you can make every throw on the field, just spread the defense out and hit, go all the way down. So
yeah, I would say he's Rod Justin Herbert.
They beat me at Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah.
Because like Justin Herbert, I think was a better prospect coming out, and I wasn't even a big fan of Justin Herbert coming out.
Yeah. He was more like a J.J. McCarthy though.
Who was?
Herbert. Just in terms of like how the offense was run, like it was a lot of like the under center, like wasn't asked to really do all that much, like pretty big guy, like solid arm. A lot of like roll out of the pocket. But I guess Drake Maye has some of that too.
Yeah.
I guess they're all a little similar. Drake Maye is bigger.
But this one's probably going to win in a landslide, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Probably Drake Maye. All right, before we get out of here, let's hit some comments. First one coming in from our friend Sid, who says, highly unlikely hypothetical. Goff, Tua, Jordan Love, and Dak hit free agency, and the Broncos land the #1 pick in 2025. Who do you target as the Broncos quarterback? So who's in the draft next year? It's Shedeur. It's in terms of quarterbacks.
Carson Beck is probably number 2 right now.
Yep. Shedeur, Carson Beck.
Quinn Ewers might be number 3 at the moment.
Those are the big 3, aren't they?
I wish I could bet on Quinn Ewers being benched for Arch Manning, though, because that...
Wow.
It'd be just like Spencer Rattler with Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
The exact same year, same situation, yeah.
So are you taking one of those guys with the #1 overall pick, or are you looking to sign Jared Goff, Tua, Jordan Love, or Dak?
I think I'll take Shedeur. I think any one of those guys will be super expensive on top of being towards the end of their career. Most of them, huh?
Some of them, yeah.
A little older. They're just a little older.
A little.
Goff and Dak on the older side.
A little older. But I think Shedeur is a very, very capable quarterback. And he's a rookie, and he's cheaper, and he has a lot of upside.
Cheaper is the big thing. Like, Goff is just a no. Tua is almost tempting, but just given the weapons that he's had it's just a little bit tougher to project him. So he's not as safe as I'd like him to be for somebody who's that expensive. Jordan Love, just haven't seen enough. Like we'll have twice as much film on Jordan Love at the end of the year, so it's tough to speak to that now. Then Dak is like a good quarterback. He's the one who might be really tempting. At the same time, though, when you gotta give him $60 million, I'd still just go Shedeur.
Yeah, I know. With Dak, I just don't know what else he needs. Like, he's had every offensive weapon. He's had O-line. He's had running backs. Like,
he's had a good defense.
I don't know what more he needs to get them over the hill to winning the Super Bowl. So that's my only knock on him.
It is strange.
In this highly unlikely hypothetical, if Jordan Love continues to play the way he did at the second half of last year, Jordan Love was arguably the best quarterback in the NFL the second half of last year. If he does that again this year, and he just says, I hate Green Bay, I'm not signing a new deal, and he hits the open market, I go and get Jordan Love, pay him $65 million a year, something crazy, and then you take that number 1 overall pick, and people are going to go crazy for Shedeur. Yeah. So you trade it for a ton, and you build up a team around Jordan Love. But the more likely scenario is you do just pick Shedeur Sanders with the number 1 overall pick, and then you have that benefit of paying your quarterback not a lot of money, and that window's open. But Sid, if that situation plays out, I'm personally going to go Jordan Love. Okay, next one from Rashawn, who says, Nix and Penix there at 12. Trade back, then take 1. So you guys know I am very against this. But let's just say Sean likes both of these quarterbacks the exact same. Don't trade back to 22 because that's just too much of a risk that maybe both of them are gone. But if they trade back to 15, I'm more open to it. If Sean likes both these guys the same, but I can't imagine that Sean is going to like multiple quarterbacks the exact same. Am I crazy?
No, he's going to have his favorite, whoever that may be. You're against it. I'm for it. And at 22, I think Penix will still be there, so not a bad move in my book.
I wonder, Sean Payton doesn't really – there are no leaks about what's going to happen with him, and there never really has been. So I almost wonder if there's – like, he might really like Michael Penix and just hasn't told anybody. And meanwhile, like, the Vikings say, like, hey, whoever, like, we kind of like J.J. McCarthy, or, like, we think this guy's good. We think that guy's good. Meanwhile, like, Sean Payton's the Penix guy, but because he's the Penix guy and doesn't really say anything, it just keeps it all under wraps so much that I think Penix to the Broncos in the first round is very much a possibility.
I like it. We'd all be for that. That's for sure. And last comment coming in from DJ Ansi says, what's up, my dudes? Good to catch y'all live for once. It's been a minute. Appreciate y'all. Hashtag Denver Broncos for life.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, DJ. We really appreciate that. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Everyone enjoy March Madness. Go to DNVR_Broncos over on Twitter to vote in today's poll. We appreciate all of you rolling with us today, and we'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the week at 11 a.m. on the DNVR Broncos Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.